You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. I think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the
Here I am. Hey, yay. Hello, hello, hello. My name's Narelle Warcon. I'm coming to you from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. It's lovely to see you all. Here we are again. It's Wednesday on Who, What, Where Wednesday. Today is the 19th of February, which means it is now 9 days past my birthday. And so Wednesday night here in Australia, and it is the 19th of February 2025. So isn't it wonderful to be alive? You know, like there's so much going on in our world, and I have so much to share with you tonight. So I'm going to call out a couple of names first, and then I'm going to go over to our subject tonight, which is preparing for what's next. So hello, Jean. Thank you for joining us. Always lovely to see you each week. And I'm sure that you're waiting for daylight savings to end over there. So it will be 6 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock. Vivine, thank you so much for joining us from Western Australia. It's always a pleasure to see you and your name in the chat. And thank you for being, one of our Aussies that comes in and says hello and, likes to listen in and support. I really do enjoy and very honoured to have you all here for your support. And I really appreciate that. So hi, Alan. Alan's coming in from South Africa, so we have a few different countries. Yes, I know, Jean. Shh. We're just stepping in, and hopefully everything works well tonight. So it looks like everything's going fine. So let's keep going forward and let's not let them listen to us. So Alan, lovely to see you here. And anyone jumping on my Facebook page, Narelle Warcon author, coming in from my LinkedIn, over there is Narelle Warcon, and also here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining in tonight. Please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. So what is our topic about tonight? Well, we know that we've been talking about Ready, Set, Go. And last week I was talking and discussing about, preparing yourself and, talking about a YouTube channel and why it's important, I suppose. So this week I'm going to start with a couple of different little things first before we get into the next part of that. One of them is that we know, for those coming on, we know that a lot of from our company on passive, and we know that being prepared is really important. So I want to talk a little bit about that today, because I think people are missing some of what's being said. And if they're not watching, say, Chris and Marty, or over on Red's channel, Red talked last night about the daily grind. You know, what are you doing to be prepared? Because when you look at the business that we have, preparation is always going to be paramount for you individually, because it's your business individually. Okay, it's not anybody else's. You need to look after it. You need to take care. Now, we've been told for a little while now that, you know, just check into our OES. And just recently, I think it was yesterday, Tanya on Passive posted about, you know, it's up to you. It's your responsibility. Log into your OES daily to see if anything's happening. Now, we know that we've had conversations where Gersminder spoke with our CEO, Mr. Ash, and also, you know, it sort of gave a little bit of a timeline, but I don't want you to sort of think about that too much. Okay, business is what business is, and what's going on in the background is always going to be happening and renewing and evolving and growing, and we need to step up and grow with that, you know. And I think that's really important. So part of what's next is taking responsibility for your business. Now, if you don't know that, or that you've got a business, then you need to sit down and go through some of the videos that have been done previously about what this involves. You know, ONPASSIVE is a business. It is an online business, and it's going to bring us a multitude of products and tools that are going to be available on one easy login platform. So remember that this is something that's never been done before. And when we talk about online, there's so many different companies out there who bring us, you know, video conferencing platforms, email platforms, social media platforms, and also a range of a whole heap of things. Can you imagine having them in one place? Now, this is really important, and that's why it's taking a little bit longer than expected, because of having everything available on that one platform. So today we're stepping into preparing for what's next. So are you ready? One of the questions I want to ask you, and I would love some input on that going through, but I want you to think about it at this present time, is what do you think that you need to know? Because I'm afraid, you know, I'm a woman, I can do many things, but one thing I can't do is read minds. And one of those things is important, is I want to be bringing you the best value of what I can share to be able to help you understand what it is each week you can be doing, or could be doing, or have already done. So think about that for a little bit. So what do you think that you need to know? Okay, because that's important to me. I can bring you all the information, remembering that these steps that I'm sharing with you are the same or similar steps that I went through myself to be where I am. Lids, oh my gosh, so lovely to see you. Love you. Lids is my very favorite friend, just up here in Queensland, up the road. So it's lovely to see you, Lids. So think about that. You know, what is it that you think that you need to know? Now, we've been told, you know, ONPASSIVE is going to do this for us. ONPASSIVE will, you know, have targeted traffic, and we'll have all these sorts of stuff available. But in the meantime, right, preparation. It's no good just sitting around and saying, oh my gosh, where are they? What's happening? And worrying about the negative, because you can turn it around quite easily into a positive by going, you know what, once a week, once a day, you know, work out what time suits you. If you've got already a full-time job, then you're going to only have a limited amount of time to be able to put to something that you can do positive towards being prepared. Okay, so that's just a question that I have there, and I will come back to see if there's any comments about that, because I am very interested in doing that. So let's get on with that. So today we're going to go over stuff, but I'm also going to, you know, expand on some things. So let's get into it. So define your purpose and passion. Now, we spoke a little bit about that last week. What do you think you have that is of purpose to you? or a passion like sporting or fishing or flowers or any of those things, have you thought about that this week, right? About what it is and defining it more. Remember, because going onwards, you need to come into more of a niche market and define what your purpose and passions are. So one of them is to ask yourself is, why do I want to create content? So one of the reasons that you do want to do YouTube, remembering that Marty has mentioned it before, that you should at least have your YouTube ready. I think it's better in the sense of actually putting some content on there, because YouTube channels under 1,000 subscribers are very rarely seen, if any. You need to start that algorithm. You need to start putting up something consistently, even if that means once a week. Okay. I do it every day. There are some days that I miss. I usually take Sundays off as a rest day. And, you know, most of the time I'm doing it every single day. Now, you don't have to do the same as what I'm doing, but if you don't start, right? Look, there's this old thought pattern out there that goes around that if you've got a YouTube channel, everybody's just going to flock to it and they're going to want to hear what you have to say. The thing is, with YouTube people, or people who watch YouTube, and you probably yourselves you do, you watch what interests you. Okay, so that's really important. Is, you know, who do you want? So who do you want to listen to your content? You know, who are the people that are going to listen to you? And please don't say I haven't anything to share, you know, because we need to start this, and this process is about getting started. Okay, preparation to get started. So identify your passion, skills, and interests. So we talked about that last week. This week, I want you to define it more. Okay, go into it, go into depth, think about it, write it down. You know, what are the things that I'm most passionate about? And think about what value you can bring to the audience, because part of YouTube is bringing value. That's why I'm here every week, is to bring value. But I also want to interact with you guys and ladies to be able to know what it is that you would like me to expand on. Hi, Pavinda, lovely to see you. Anybody else jumping on there that I've missed? Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. So if you're going around a niche, say for business, say for something that's more of a niche, where you love dogs, but certain breeder dogs, you know, if you want talk about flowers, but you own a florist, you know, this is not just for people sitting at home. This is for people all over the world in all types of businesses. And that have to be thousands and thousands and thousands of different niches out there that you can plug into, because that's part of who you are. That's part of what your life, what you've experienced. So think about your niche. If you don't know what that is, it's about, you know, your creativity, what your purpose, passion is. It all ties into being one thing, really. Who do you want to watch the videos? So study, have a look at other video channels that relate to something similar to what you want to do. So if you're interested in dogs, if you're interested in flowers, then search out those other YouTube stations to find out what it is they're doing. Because what you want to do is to actually, so what you actually want to do is remember that each person does their own thing. So when I come on, I'm Narelle Warcon. I do my own thing. I talk. Hello, Glenda. Lovely to see you. I talk the way that I talk. Yes, I'm an Australian. They say I have an accent, but we know in Australia we don't. Just to add in a little bit of fun. But it could be just something different that you haven't seen on YouTube before. Or maybe you think, well, yeah, I see what that person's doing, but I would like to do it this way. You know, I would like to see something else, because maybe they're missing out on something. Remember, YouTube is worldwide. So you're watching videos that could come from America, the UK, Japan, India, Bangladesh, all over the place, you know. So you're watching different things, and it has to be relatable. So remember that. Now, what I'm going to do for you each week, starting this week and from last week, is if you put your email into my website, and we will put up the link for that, I'm going to send you the notes, okay? so that you've actually got them in front of you, because what you're listening to today is me talking and you're going, oh my gosh, what did she say? And you're either writing it down or taking notes yourself. But isn't it easier if you've got, say, sort of like a step-by-step notes that you can go over and have a look at, and step-by-step, go through that process of what I'm talking about, not only tonight, but last week as well, and continued on next week as well. So, so put your email in, and the link is coming up. I think it's narellewarcon.com RSG. Okay. So that's for the notes for the sessions today and last week. And there's also narellewarcon.com/ready, set, go. Okay, so pop your email in there and we'll send you that email through as soon as we have your email, or soon thereafter. You know what it's like. So we can do that. So the next one is about brainstorming. Now, look, I've been through this in my life. I've done a lot of brainstorming. I can't say that and I'm able to say either way. I'm a bit of a fence sitter when it comes to brainstorming. Maybe I was brainstorming with the wrong people, maybe because I have to do a lot of that myself because I work so much personally here doing my stuff. But what I want you to do is have a think about, you can think about how many video ideas that excite you. Okay, so what excites you? What gets you going that says, hey, I love talking about this. I love coming to you each week. The first part of it was sharing my story about my book. And that was, it was overwhelming, a little bit scary, because my book is one thing, but putting it out there and talking about it personally, and some of that was quite emotional for me. But I was passionate about sharing hope with the world and sharing hope with those people who may be still going through domestic violence. So we carried on from there. We, brought The Diamond Within, a continuation or a side, Australian type side, Australia, New Zealand, about Shine the Light. And we had some amazing, beautiful people on. But again, I like to bring value, and I like to be able to share my experiences, because I know there's a lot of people out there who are sitting there going, I don't know how to do this. I need a hand. I need help. And that's what I want to be here for, because I started at the very bottom as well. I just turned 64. I wasn't born into the era of digital, computers, mobile phones or anything like that. And I've had to learn. But I haven't had always someone there, probably my children, probably my mentor now. So with certain things, as you go into building websites and all that sort of stuff. But isn't it nice to know that you've got somebody who can actually come to you on the same level of learning that they started on? Do you know what I mean? So that there is really something that I want to bring value to. So brainstorming. So think about, it's like write down 10 or 20 video ideas that excite you. I think 10 or 20 are actually a little bit too many, but you just keep writing till you run out of what excites you. Don't write down things that's, oh, well, maybe we don't want to hear those. Okay. What excites you? What sets you on fire? What makes you get up of a morning? What makes you excited? Is it your children? Is it the dog? Is it the cat? Sorry, I'm not a cat person. But, what is it? Do you really love your job? Because if you're in a creative job, as I was as a florist, it was an absolute beautiful thing to get up in the morning and go to work, because it was surrounded by flowers and people and lovers and mums and people having babies. Yes, there was the sad side of people passing away, and that was really heart-wrenching at times. But the pluses on that, the positives, was being able to bring people joy every day, and that's what I'm trying to do here as well. So start with topics you already know well to build your confidence. Okay, so you're thinking about, when I go live, when I do something on YouTube, what is those main things? What are those big things that really spark you? Yes, it can be about ONPASSIVE as well. And we know that future down the track, we'll have way more spark and fire and, you know, creativity around that. But right now, what sparks you now so we can get that channel started, okay? Okay, so plan your first few videos. So choose 3 to 5 topics to start. Excuse me, I just need a drink of water. Okay, so choose 3 to 5 topics. What are they? What are you going to talk about? Because the worst thing that you can do is get onto a YouTube, start talking live and go, oh, I wanted to talk about, well, the other day, my dog, you know, like, you've got to prepare. This is all in the preparation, is preparing, building up your self-confidence, looking at those topics, looking and reading about them, you know, taking on how that fits into your life and what you've been through. Okay, so outline key points you want to cover in each video. So sometimes when you're starting, it's okay to have notes. You know, I still have notes in front of me today, you know, because my head is a little bit older and I don't want to miss certain important things when I'm sharing, okay? I like to be able to bring what I meant. You know, I don't want to close down tonight and go, oh, I forgot to say that, and that. No, I don't like doing that. So, so have a look at the key points. And I always say, particularly when I had my diamonds on, they go, oh, you know, it gets a little bit overwhelming. And people wrote, you know, pages of notes about their lives. And I said, what I want you to do now is to go and just do bullet points about that topic, because we don't have enough time to tell everybody your whole story, but we want to know certain parts of that. So dot points, bullet points, whatever you want to call them, write them down and have, you know, maybe 3, 5, depending on what you're talking about and how long you need to talk for. So don't limit yourself to talking, but also keep it within a certain period of time, because one of the things algorithms will pick up on, you know, shorts, if it's personal. Hi, Safal. Lovely to see you. You know, the algorithms are picking up on, is it a video? Is it of any value? Are people wanting to watch it? You know, there's so much involved there. And like I said, we can't share everything with you on a weekly basis. Otherwise, we'd be here for the week. Like I said, the notes are there. So if you want the notes, then certainly just pop your email into that link and we'll send them over to you so that you've got them in front of you, okay? I say, so gather the tools. Now people will go, well, what do I really need? You know, so your phone is your camera. Okay. Now I did a lot of lives, like Facebook lives. Remember, YouTube can be a platform for videos, but doing lives is also really, really good on Facebook. You can just set it up. You just give it a description. You can tag some people in there on your phone. Bingo, bango. Next minute you're going live. And you can be in your yard, you can be at the beach, you can be walking, you can be sitting anywhere you want to be. And I've done some amazing lives, and I will be doing some more of those on Facebook, because I actually miss doing those. They're more of a spontaneous, hey, I'm just standing here next to the river and it's beautiful. So I just wanted to share something with you today. Okay, Jean, I'll come back to that question. Just give me a second. So gather your tools. So all you need is some basic lighting. Now, when I sit here, you're able to see me. The light is sort of above me. And yes, I could probably do with some better lighting. However, as long as you can see the person's face, as long as you're able to, you know, look into their eyes, so to speak, see their mouth moving, don't be too close and don't be too far away. Okay, so you can see that I'm average just sitting here. I've got some nice background behind me, and I have a green wall, which I can use later on for different, bringing different backgrounds on. So have a look at that. So have a look at your lighting. Always make sure that your face is lit so that people can see you, okay, because it's you that they come to listen to. And a microphone if you can. Now, if you don't have a good mic, I use a lapel mic. Because I'm doing live streams. Most of the time your mobile phones are going to be good, but if you do want to start doing this on a regular basis, even if it's once a week, have a look at a lapel microphone. It plugs into, I use my laptop, and I also have a 32-inch TV which I plan on using down the track. So get those things prepared before you just go, oh, I'm just going to do this, So preparation, all right? Everything's about preparation. Hi, Kiva. Lovely to see you. Kiva's coming in from Norway. And I haven't seen anybody else yet, but I will get over because I just want to skippy through this first. And I'm not skipping through it as in not giving you information. So record and edit videos. So look, this is going a little bit deep. It is part of the process for doing live videos. So one of the things that you can do is that you can keep it simple, like very, very simple. Don't overcomplicate your first videos. All you have to do is be you. Remember, you are important, you are worthy, and you are definitely enough to get out there and speak about yourself, your passion, your purpose, okay? Remember, coming into ONPASSIVE, we're getting prepared. Now, being prepared doesn't mean you have to talk about that. It means you can talk about your passions and your purposes, okay? So being prepared for that. Shoot in natural light and make sure your audio is clear. So you could do a little test run. You could do a little, make sure that you're going live if you're a little bit afraid. And look, I was scared in the beginning too. It wasn't about me being me. I just hadn't done it before. When you go live, this way it's sort of, well, every way it's okay because you don't really see anybody. However, when you're doing, I see messages coming through here. And when you do Facebook Lives, whether it's on your phone or whether it's on your laptop or computer, you actually see the messages coming in. It really adds to being interactive with those who've taken the time to come and watch, okay? Like I said, I love doing spontaneous and I do plan on doing more of those. So cut out long pauses. Remember, be prepared. Have your dot points there. Say it in your mind. Speak it out a few times, right? And make sure that you're not doing, like I stop sometimes to think. I always look up when I think, waiting for the dear Lord to give me the answers. But yeah, make sure that you have prepared yourself enough. Spontaneous is good in the sense that you just get on and say whatever. But remember, again, you're prepared to not take big pauses, not have big pauses, or too many ums and ahs. Now, I went and I did, what do you call it? Oh, where you learn to speak and stuff like that. And I can't even remember. Toastmasters, there you go. I did Toastmasters a few years ago because I do have a big story. And one of the things that I found was that I was overwhelmed by how the heck do I say or speak or share with anybody about my full life story. So it was broken into small pieces and I was able to bring more value in cutting it back into certain parts of my life and speaking about that at the time. So that did help because in Toastmasters, if you say they deduct points from you. So I would have a few points deducted each week. So that's okay. We learn and we grow as the more we do. Okay, so that's one of the good things is we actually learn from these things. Yeah, so upload and optimize for YouTube. Okay, now again, this is going a little bit off into a little bit more depth, but it is part of preparing what you're going to do for YouTube or even for Facebook. You can apply this to either. Now, creating a thumbnail. Now, I want to go into this just a little bit because next week we'll go on to a little bit more to speak a little bit more or bring you some information about Canva and stuff like that. So thumbnail is when you see my thumbnail on a YouTube and it's got the like a theatre chairs and it's got me and it's got Who, What, Where Wednesday. I make those myself through Canva. So what they're saying is that YouTube needs to be stimulating. So when you're scrolling through YouTube, you sort of go for something that stands out. Firstly, that it's relative to what you want to watch. Secondly, because the thumbnail makes it bright, colorful. Yeah, so as you can see, it's just popped up on the screen. When you, excuse me, when you see that every week, that is now my thumbnail. I started off with something different. I've gone to more of a a direct type message, because again, using algorithms, going by what the professionals say, something like this, myself, you can see it's me, or sort of me, a younger me, and what the topic is going to be this week. So think about your thumbnail. You don't want to look in a lot of things where people get confused or don't know what they're doing. And look, we all had to learn. I had to learn as well. They put too much information on the thumbnail. They put too much information in their posts. They put too much writing, too many pictures, too many this, too many that. And people, it's overload. Because if you've got something like, anxiety, or you have HD, like an overactive or stimulated mind, they will pass right past it. You want it to be plain, simple, catchy, something that's going to go, oh my gosh, I wonder what they're talking about. And sometimes you'll find, even putting up a thumbnail, if I was going to do, say, a Facebook Live, you don't need a thumbnail for that. However, if I was to do spontaneous for a YouTube, I will put up a thumbnail and say, I've gone shopping, you want to see what I bought? Something that stimulates somebody wanting to watch. It's not just about Narelle Warcon. Like, these are different because they're my weekly ones, okay? So we'll definitely go into that a little bit more, but think about what your thumbnail. The other day I put up a post in Facebook, had a dog, and it says, be the person that your dog thinks you are. And you see how it stimulates, like, oh my goodness, what's she talking about that for? I don't own a dog at the moment, but I have, okay? And they are the most precious and special things that you could ever want, particularly if you're not well. And when I was in pain, it was, yeah, let's just say that the dog was very helpful in my pain time. So, sorry, just got to check that. Yeah, so you have approximately about 3 seconds to grab those people who want to watch your video, okay? 3 seconds isn't very long. 1 and 2 and 3. So you grab them with the thumbnail, and then they will come in to watch who you are, what you're talking about. So remember, the shorter the video, the better when you're starting, because you're not necessarily bringing a great value right away. You're just letting people know who you are. Hey, I'm John Smith. I'm coming to you from Canada, and I'm going to talk about the snow. Oh my gosh, and take a picture, go outside, show them the snow. People are interested in doing that. Remember, a lot of people in 2020 were sent home, stay home. That was it. You didn't have a life outside of your home. So a lot of people became more involved in social media, in Zoom platform or social networking platforms, and also videos, short YouTubes, whatever they may be. This is where you need to start. So we're going to go on from there, because the last one is to stay consistent, okay? Because whatever you can dedicate. Now, remember last week I said this to you. You don't have to be consistent as I am, and I may not have started as consistent as what I am now, but I did do a lot of work for a lady who I made a lot of videos and that sort of thing. So I had to be consistent all the time. And it does drive you nuts sometimes to try and be creative all the time. I take inspiration from you guys. I take inspiration from Facebook, from YouTube, from what I read, what I research. There's so much out there that you can take inspiration from and be creative around that. So set a realistic posting schedule. So that means dedicate it, write it down. Say to yourself, I do want to do this. I want to get started. I want to prepare, and start those steps. We've given you the steps from last week about how to set up and what to do. And this week we've gone a little bit more in depth with what that looks like, so prepare yourself, have a look at your passions and purposes, and be realistic. So if you can only do one a week, be consistent with it. Make it on whatever day suits you. Is it a Tuesday? Is it a Thursday? You can do a little bit of research around that, as to what days are better for posting, what times of the day are better for posting. But again, that's sort of going way too in depth. Right now, I think we've given you quite a lot to have a think about, and certainly go over with those notes. If you want them, then certainly put your email in. Now, that part is it. What I want to say is, and I've got a few things written down here today. I spoke about Red and Marty and Chris talking about being prepared, and I really want to sort of bring that home to you. Red was quite open last night in saying that he will help as many people as possible, but you need to be doing that yourself. You need to be prepared, because you can't expect everybody, as it's happened over the last few years, of just being there for everybody, because I don't know how to log in, and I don't know how to change my password, and I don't know how to do this. Learn those things. Log into your back office. Ask people if you have difficulties now, okay? That is part of being prepared. So thank you to Red, Chris, and Marty for sharing their information that they do each day, each week. Everybody does their own little bit, and we can grab a little bit from each one. So make sure that you're subscribing to not only my channel, because I do appreciate that. It is free. Subscribe, like, ring the bell, do all what you have to do, and get the notifications. And also go over to theirs and do it for them as well. So Marty and Chris have separate YouTubes, but they do it together, and Red has his own as well. And there are many others that you could be subscribing to again look at what somebody else is doing. Okay, so small victories build great triumph. So if you take it step by step, as the video said in the beginning, that if you take it just one step at a time, at least you're moving forward. You're not stuck there, and you're not going backwards, okay? Embrace challenges. They lead to empowerment, okay? Every challenge that I have been through has led me to be a stronger person, has lifted me up. Has it been hard? Absolutely, yes, it has. As like many of you who have been through certain things in your life, you've got to keep lifting yourself up. And if you don't, embrace those challenges to be a positive, then you'll always be stuck in that past, okay? So I wanted to today show you my book, because I do have it here all the time, and I have it here so you can actually see that it's real, okay? So I just wanted to show you today, because I've been meaning to bring this on for a few weeks. I talk about being a published author. You see the banner in the background over there. But I just wanted to show you the book. So it is real. It does have writing in there, if you can see that. Yep. And I can post it all over the world. In Australia, I'll just go over to the website quickly. Like I said, it's not necessarily about the sale of the book, okay? It's about bringing hope. What I have been through with domestic violence, what I've been through with sexual, physical, and mental abuse is something I believe that God has me on this path to be able to share that with people, to be a strength for people, because it's still happening. It's still relevant today, and it's even more so. Now, a lot of that comes from, if you have a look at domestic violence, you will find that a lot of that comes from money problems, okay? Society telling people, male and female, that they're not good enough, that they have to live a certain way, have a certain house, have a certain car, look a certain way. And when you can't fulfill that constantly, and remember, we all grow older, we all change, okay? You have to embrace who you are and grow with that. So each new challenge is a way to embrace that and step up and move forward with it. Again, comes back to, who are you spending your time with? Are they uplifting you? Are they encouraging you to step up? And it's okay if people step up further than you. There is no problem with that, because if you can be a part of somebody's growth and somebody's life, to be able to know that you helped in some small way, that they progressed and they went further than you, that doesn't matter, and it shouldn't worry you. You are still doing what you want to do and bringing hope and loving on people. Hey, Rhea Sheb, thank you for being here. I will get over to those comments very shortly. So I just wanted to show you, oh, look, I've put it away already. My book, It is beautiful, Jean. I loved it right from the very beginning. And if I can tell you a very short story about my book cover, it's a sort of a always it was always about, you know, my journey and things like that. So the photographer, I paid for a professional photographer and went to the studio, and I had a studio sitting with makeup and hair done, and she was going to take certain different photographs of me that I could use either on my book cover or in certain marketing and things like that around my book. So I'm sitting there, sorry, that's a bit in the light there. um, I'm sitting there waiting, and this is my looking down, right? And she just happened to snap that photograph. It wasn't meant to be. And when we looked through all the photographs, that was it. It was about the solemn thinking me. And if you have a look on the back, if you don't have my book, there's the happier me. And that was taken on the same day as well, believe it or not. But that was the story behind that. I was just sitting there just waiting for her, and she just snapped that shot, which was just perfect for, you know, the cover of my book. So I really just loved it. As soon as I saw it, I knew it. Just as if you're buying a house, as soon as you walk in, you sort of know it, right? Hi, Dylan. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for your support on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. And anybody here that has a YouTube channel, you know, please sing out, because I'd love to support you for supporting me as well. But make sure that we get it started, okay? It's no good sitting there doing nothing, because nobody's going to find you if you're just doing nothing. Just as, you know, with ONPASSIVE, we've been asked to do some things, okay? If it's 2%, 5%, whatever you want to put into it. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate that. Whatever you want to put into it, what time you have to do that, then start now. You know, start last week. Start a month ago. Going within. It was a really, I can't even give it words, Jean, because it's sort of, it explains everything where I came from. And it was just that deep thought of, you know, releasing and stuff like that, I suppose. So there's no real word to cover that. Okay, when I started, I asked you about what is it that you'd like to know more about. So I'm going to come over to the comments shortly. What are you doing each day? So that's what I want to ask you. What are you doing each day? You know, are you logging in? Okay, that takes you 2 minutes. If you're going to work, we understand, and I certainly understand, because I've been in many industries where I work 12 hours a day, and it's not an easy thing to come home and think about being creative or stuff like that. I always used to take a pad with you, or a pen and paper, we call it, write things down as you think about them, okay? Oh, that would be good to talk about that. Because if you don't write it down, sometimes you get home, and because it's been a tiring day, or you've got kids, or you're thinking about cooking dinner, that thought or that creative thought is gone. So always write it down. Or what I do, and people might think I'm crazy, but I actually send myself messages on my phone. So I write myself a message and I send it to myself, so that I can read it later. And it always comes back, oh yeah, you know, had I have not written that down, I probably would have forgotten about it. So that's really important. So I'm going to come back now. Oh, so Canva, I just want to speak about that quickly. Canva.com. I think it's .com. I don't know if it's AU. Canva is an Australian company. It was based in Australia. Its headquarters are in Sydney, Australia. Amazing company. It's national, and it is truly one of the best platforms that I've used. And I know that there's many out there, but we're going to start with Canva because that's where I started. Now, I won't be bringing you the whole details of everything, but certainly we will have notes and give you a step-by-step on how to process through some of those, you know, videos, some of the how-tos, because I think they're important. You can watch it, you know, wherever you want, but sometimes if you just start at that very basic level, because we know that some of our audience are just getting started. Some of them have not got YouTube channels. Some may have, but they don't know what to do yet. So that's why the notes are really, really important. So some of those how-tos are going to be really basic, but step by step you can go through them, and I think that's what's really important. So let me have a little look-see here at our people, because I want to say thank you so much for joining us. You've just been truly amazing, and I know there's some messages coming through here. Make it and they will come. That's one of mine. This is very helpful. Thank you, Jean. I appreciate that. I know that you get up early in the morning, Jean, so I really hope that I'm bringing up, some value to each and every one of you here. Okay, so this was the one. Yes, could recording first and sharing videos later be safer? Absolutely. And there is no denying. I'm actually looking at doing some of those myself now, Jean, as well. So because it can be overwhelming, because it can be nervous and you stop and start, remembering that you're not going to be any different on a recording. You're just not going to feel as overwhelmed because somebody's right there live. Okay, so recording again, practice. Sometimes it's really good to be able to I think what fear comes to people is they can see themselves talking, okay, and they go, oh my gosh, my hair's here, or this, that. Don't do that, okay, because the worst thing is it takes away from what value you're bringing to those people. Don't touch. I mean, I jump around a little bit. I use my hands a lot. However, it's people, you can see that they're looking at themselves. You can see that they're looking if their hair's out of place or whatever. So recordings can be something as simple as getting on there, saying to people, hey, my name's Gina Lever. I'm coming to you today from wherever you live. It's really snowing hard. We've had 6 inches of rain. I saved and I can't remember if it's a hawk or an eagle. Jean, forgive me. I was just reading it prior. That I want to save, and I just want to put it out there that, if you could please help me pray for this little bird that we're trying to save, then you know what I mean? Like, it's something about you. It's something of interest. It doesn't take too long. And if you record it, then you can pop it up straight away, half an hour later, later that night, tomorrow morning. Make it relevant to now, though. Okay, so don't delay putting it up for too long, because you want it to be relevant to what's happening in your life now. Do you have any tips on how to focus in on a channel niche when your interests abroad? Well, as you know, Jean, I have very many interests, and I think what excites you the most, okay? I would start at, what excites you the most. So for me, if I'm talking to somebody, they'll go, oh my gosh, you get really excited about that. You're sitting forward, even asking other people, Jean, sometimes that helps. I love flowers. When I'm working with flowers or talking about flowers, I get quite, joyful and excited because I just love them. When I see somebody put up flowers in their garden, I'm excited. So have a look, step back a little bit. Instead of looking at the whole picture, take 3 topics. Okay, excuse me. Sit with those for a little bit. What can I talk about them? And you will feel your excitement about, oh yeah, I can do that. I can talk about the eagle or the hawk or the snow, or something that is happening in your day. Remember, it doesn't have to be a niche right now. Okay, you're talking about just introducing yourself, getting yourself a little bit more known, and bringing it in to fine tune it as to all those broad topics. So I hope that's helped a little bit. Remember, just hone it down, bring it down to like 3 topics I would start with. See how you feel about those and what you think that you can share of value, and if it excites you, So, okay, so I'm just going to go through these quickly. Knowing one's own responsibility is easier. How to prepare. Some people finding it hard to prepare when they don't know they're bringing to the table too much fun preparing in ONPASSIVE. Absolutely. We have a big, platform. And the thing is, people are very excited, and we've been asked to stay excited and, share out our excitement about bringing that around. However, today, and what I've been bringing is being prepared for that. So, like I've just shared with Jean, sometimes it's, I don't know, I've just gone a little bit fuzzy there, so I hope I'm coming through okay. Sometimes we're looking at this big picture all the time of what is coming. And even Marty and Chris and Red and them have spoken about, it's not going to be an overnight thing where it just goes bingo, bango, that's it, we're all done. And, life is easy and fantastic. It's also just about being prepared. How much time are you willing to put into doing something about ONPASSIVE? How much time are you going to put into preparing your YouTube channel? How much time do you put into Facebook? Now, it's a good thing, and I see it all the time. It's great to have support when people are around, liking, loving, and leaving comments. What are you doing yourself? That's a good thing too, but you need to be making yourself or making people aware that you are a person of yourself. You have something to share. We just got to find it, okay? And sometimes that's a very simple thing by doing this, by being prepared, getting a little bit more comfortable with who you are, sharing a little bit about who you are, rather than making it about this big picture. ONPASSIVE is huge. We understand that, okay? It's going to be, and it's going to change a lot of lives. We understand that. But right now, we have to do what we can. And like I said, that's about being prepared. And it can be lots of fun in lots of different ways, because like I do, I include ONPASSIVE, but I also include value to be able to bring you to that next level. I don't like saying levels, but next stage in what we can do and what we can share. Remember, there's people out there sharing stuff that isn't right. Parvinder, you need to keep an eye on things and ask your leaders in your country for that sort of a question. Normally we wouldn't allow that in here, but certainly find out, keep an eye on. If nothing's come through your back office, then nothing has changed. So it's no good asking those questions all the time on chats. Okay, Jean, I've answered that one. If there's anybody just wanting to pop in any last ones, because I know we put in a little bit of information for you tonight, but again, if you pop your email in, I used to interest so much in targeted traffic until I learned, there's a lot to do with targeted traffic. And remember, every business, every platform is going to be its own business. Now, it can be overwhelming for some, Vavine, and I know what you're saying. A lot of people don't actually understand targeted traffic. People who've not been in business before, people who've never had an online business or even a bricks and mortar. They've just gone to work, so they've never had anything to do with anything to do online. So what I'm trying to bring here is of value in the sense of everybody. So hopefully you've got something out of it tonight, as well as taking it forward for those who start from the basics. Hi, Marcianne, lovely to see you. Marcianne's looking like a ripe apple on a tree. That's how I can explain her from that outfit I saw her in. And it will change. Remember that your purpose and passion changes with what you're doing, whether it be day to day or week to week. It's like if you go to a job, and I'll call Chris Johnson out for this, 32 years in one job doing the same thing, man, that must have taken, I don't know about you. I'm a bit of a gypsy girl. I've moved many times and I've had different jobs. It's because I need stimulation. I need to find something that stimulates me. I need to find those things that, like I've been a florist. Okay, I've driven dump trucks in the coal mines because I wanted to advance myself. I wanted to be able to bring in a wage, I suppose, that could support myself and my children growing forward. I've done restaurant work. I picked beans when I was a young girl. I tell you what, that's hard labor. In Gympie, in the place where I grew up, it's like mountain goat country and you're picking beans on the side of this and different types of vegetables, So again, I always say, have a look. If you're getting on in age, and I'm not saying old, but any age, have a look back, see what you did, see what helped you to progress and do something different. I think 32 years in one job is probably needs a medal, because I couldn't have done that in one job, unless you're absolutely passionate. And floristry, yes, I worked for myself. I had my own businesses, but I started with other people first. And I did, and I learnt from different people, from different florists where I worked in. Then when I was ready to open my own business, I had so much knowledge. The fact is I had a breakdown, and I had all sorts of problems going on in my life during my business. So again, another story. Hi, I thought I saw Vinod there. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming in. Let me just scroll to the bottom here and see if there's any last minute questions. I do want to go back over and show you my blogs, Going Within for Healing. Oh boy, it took lots of healing, Jean. I'm still healing to this day. As you can tell in my voice sometimes when I talk about things. So there's lots of information that came through in the chat tonight. I hope that you've been reading that. And yeah, like I said, remember, this is small steps. If we take small steps, we're moving forward. If we're trying to see what's down the road, a mile, a kilometer, however you look at it, it looks blurry because we can't see it. Doesn't matter what glasses you have on. But if you take the next step, it's a step forward, and it's a step easier, okay? Because it's that, I think most of the time it's just getting started. And last week we spoke about procrastination, remember, about getting started, okay? So I hope that you've sort of thought about that and put some of that procrastination aside and said, you know what, I can do this. Narelle believes in me. If nobody else does, I do, okay? I believe in you. That's why I'm here each week doing this. Marcianne, again, lovely to see you. And thanks again, Jean. So what I'm going to do is just go back into my website just for a minute, because I just want to show you some blogs from this week, remembering that you can pop your email into the link, and also going into my blogs. Here's a few that I did this last week. And so you see the one from today: take each day one step at a time. Small victories build great triumphs. When I started writing my book, did I just go, bang, it was written? No. No. I had to relive, and I had to cry, and I had to relive, and I had to cry, and I had to do the process. And it didn't happen easily, because each chapter was so releasing in a sense. So you are stronger than you think. I'm always going to keep telling you that you are stronger than you think. If you start believing in yourself, you will help others and uplift others then as well. Okay. And others need you, those around you, whether it be your family, friends, people you don't even know, people within our business. There are people out there just waiting for you. So let go, grow beautifully. Is another beautiful one. I love working with flowers. So if you go into each blog, there is a little wording in there. It will help you to also, I suppose, just take on a different perspective. They're not overly large. They're really quite lovely and sweet. I tried to bring them to you each day, but please leave me a message in there as well. You can write a message on any of the blog posts, or go to my contact and just send me a little message there. So we had Valentine's this last week. Love is the greatest gift we can give and receive. Remember, it's about giving and receiving, okay? It's not just about giving all the time. When we're givers, which I am, we love to give. But what I had to learn over the years was actually to receive as well. And that's a way bigger thing to have to do, because I just love seeing people happy, and I love giving and helping and doing that sort of thing. So, but remember, it's okay to receive as well. So as you can see, if you scroll down, there's certain different ones there that I've put up. Each week I try and put up about my Who What Wednesday. I missed that today. What you choose today matters. They're all there. I try to keep them pretty and different. Like I said, it's hard to be creative all the time. But, if you want those notes from last week as well about, the preparation coming into YouTube, what to do, also about the, the learning, the procrastination and things like that. It's good to read over things in your time, in your time. So if you get it sent to you in an email, then you'll be able to look back on and go, oh yeah, I remember she said that, but I had forgotten about it. So easy steps, start from the basis. We will, bring you something new each week of value. It has been, I think, a very broad subject. Like I said last week, when I started to get into doing all of this, it's very broad, and there's so much that we can cover. But step by step and bases or basics for those who haven't yet been able to set up their YouTube or have, and are going, well, what's the next step? What do I do from here? I gave you a lot tonight, and I think these notes, particularly from tonight, are very important because they give you that step on how to prepare, getting your lighting ready, what device are you going to use, what are you going to talk about, think about your topics, write down your bullet points, how am I going to speak, where am I going to sit, where am I going to stand. There's a lot of different, lots of value in tonight as to how we come on each week. Like I come on each week on Wednesday. Like I said, I want to do more spontaneous, either YouTube lives and Facebook, but I want to be able to just pop on, because I think it's really important people see you where you are. If you, like you said, Jean, in the snow, or if it's the bird that you're looking after and wanting help or prayers for, if it's somebody that cooks, you don't have to show the whole recipe. You get on there and you watch somebody and you think, come on already, hurry up, just get on with it. I just want to know how to do that. It really is, these days, everything is fast, okay? Particularly for the young ones, it's fast food. It's in and out, pick and collect, pick up your groceries, collect them, you ring them, tell them what you want, or do it all online, and then you just pick it up. Everything's about quick and easy. So remember that. Nobody wants to hear a long, drawn out. It's different for me each week. I know mine's a bit long and drawn out, but I'm just bringing a different thing. But for you to start, just be yourself, okay? That's the biggest thing that I can say. Remember, in your head, before you start, smile. Smile before you even hit the record button. It makes a huge difference. I do that every week before I come live here, remembering everything I've shared with you, I have done myself. So I want to say to each and every one of you, thank you so much. If there's anything else coming through here, the links are there in the chat. Be yourself, yeah. Thanks for Vinay. I really appreciate your time because I know you're coming in at a time where you're sort of finishing work and things like that. And again, each one who has joined me on my LinkedIn, thank you so much. And those who've joined me over on Narelle Warcon Author on Facebook, thank you so much. Please give me a follow over there, and like and subscribe here, and ring that bell for notifications. Next week, I will be bringing you a new part of this Ready, Set, Go. And part of that will be how do I go about this, and what is Canva, and what can I do? Like I said, it's another big topic, so be prepared. But remember, we're doing the notes now, so pop your email in, and so that we can get those notes out to you, so you can follow along and do it at your pace, okay? So I'm not putting expectations on you. I'm just asking you to be prepared, all right? I love you all. I send blessings for all those who are in need of prayers. We know that so much is going on in our world, and so much is needed out there. So please keep praying for those. I send you a ton of love. Reach out to those around you. Keep positive. Reach out to those who will uplift you. Thank you, Glenda. I really appreciate I'll be in contact with you, Glenda, and to your beautiful daughter, Jasmine. Thank you to her as well. But thank you for all being here. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing with you tonight. Again, I hope it brings of much value. I'm just going over my notes here just to make sure that I haven't. Every day is a new day to create create what's important to you. So yeah, so just before we go, have a think about that. Every day you get to wake up, right? And you get to be you get to choose what you're going to create in that day. Are you going to have a negative day? Are you going to have a positive day? Are you going to smile? And look, I'm not taking away from the fact that there are sad days. You know, there are days when we need to cry. There's days when we don't want to talk to people, and that's okay. Just don't live there. Okay. All right. Love you all. Thanks again. See you next Wednesday on Who, What, Where Wednesday. My name's Narelle Warcon, and I have been coming to you from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. And I look forward to speaking to you all again next week. And I do love you all. And thank you so much for being here and being supportive. I really appreciate it. Bye for now. Take care.